Right, hello YouTube, what is up? My name's Quinton and welcome back to my second HTML and CSS tutorial. And in this tutorial we are finally going to start writing some code. So just go ahead and open up Notepad++ real quick, and if you don't have Notepad++ yet, then check out my previous video and download it so that you can follow along with the rest of the tutorials. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I just want to save our file as the correct file type, because if you guys don't save it as an HTML file, then your computer is not going to read it as a website, and your browser is not going to read it as a website, and then your website's not going to work basically. So let's just go ahead and click File, Save As, and I'm going to go to my desktop, and right here in Save As type, I'm going to change this to Hypertext Markup Language, and just make sure that you choose Hypertext Markup Language and not anything else, otherwise you're not saving it as a website. And then I'm just going to go ahead and name my file index.html. And it's probably important that you guys just save your file as index.html as well, and this will probably make a lot more sense later on whenever you guys want to try publish a website or something. But whenever you have a home page of a website, or whenever you want to tell your server what the home page of your website is, you name your file or the home page of your website index.html. That's just so that whenever someone comes to visit your web page, they'll go to the home page first, which is the index.html file. So just go ahead and save that. And if I go ahead and take a look on my desktop now, I've got this little file here, which is my index file. And as you can see, my computer knows that it's a website because it's now going to use Firefox to open it, and that's because Firefox is my default browser. So if your guys' default browser is something else, then it's going to try open it with Internet Explorer or Chrome or something. So just go ahead and double click this, and you'll see that we do in fact have a website here, but it is completely blank, and that's just because our file here in in Notepad++ is completely blank. So let's go ahead and start writing in some information for our website real quick. But before we actually start writing some code, I just want to show you guys a couple things. And if you watched my previous video, you probably saw when I showed you guys an example of HTML, you probably saw code that looked a lot like this, where you had a word, and let me just go ahead and type this. Okay, so you probably saw something that looked a lot like this in the previous video, where you had like these smaller than and greater than signs, and then you had like some word in there, and then you had some text in the middle, and then you had another smaller than and greater than sign with another word in there and a forward slash. Now that's because HTML is written in these things called tags, and that's what these things are right here. This is a tag and this is a tag. So let me just go ahead and rename that so it makes a little bit more sense. Tag and tag. And as you can see, they're not exactly the same either. We have what is called an opening tag, and then what we have here is a closing tag. So the reason why the closing tag is a little bit different, it's got this forward slash in there. That is just so that the browser knows and that we know that our tag ends here. Okay, because if you ever write like a really long paragraph in HTML and you're going to have like a whole bunch of text in the middle here, then you know, okay, my paragraph started here and it ended here. Okay, so that's just why we have opening and closing tags. But then we also have these special tags called single tags. So let me just go ahead and show you what a single tag would look like. And that would just be the same thing, smaller than, greater than sign with a keyword in the middle. And then straight after our keyword we have a forward slash. Okay, now this is what a single tag would look like, and basically there are a few special tags that use a single tag like that, which I think image is going to be one of them. and then we have break and a few others. But that's just what a single tag looks like, and that's what a double tag looks like, and you guys are going to need to know that before we move on. And then again, I need to tell you something else, and that is that you can't just make up any mumbo jumbo you want here inside your tags. You actually have to use a whole bunch of preset tags. So this here where you see tag, that's actually wrong. An example of a double tag would be like P for paragraph. So as you can see, whenever I use a real tag, it actually Notepad++ turns the real tag blue, and that's because Notepad++ knows what all the real or the proper HTML tags are, and therefore it can turn them blue just so that we can see them stand out amongst the rest of our text. Okay, so that paragraph would be an example of a double tag, and then I told you image would be an example of a single tag. But don't worry about this too much now. I'll go in depth about these things a little bit later. But for now, let's just go ahead and start writing our website. And the first thing we have to do at the top of every single website that we ever write is we have to declare a doc type. And the reason why we do that is just so that we tell Google Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer or any of our other browsers what type of website to be expecting, because there's a bunch of different versions of HTML. So it could be expecting a number of documents, but just to tell our browser that it should be expecting an HTML5 document, because we are using HTML5 because that's just the latest version. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my smaller than and greater than signs, and then inside here I'm going to type in exclamation mark and all caps doc type, and I'm going to leave a space, and in small letters over here or lowercase letters I'm going to type in HTML. Okay, so this just means that we are using an HTML5 document. It's not very hard to remember that you guys just have to type this in every single time you ever write a website. You just have to remember to include that in the top, just so that the browser knows what web page to be expecting. And then the next thing you have to do is create your website or start writing your website. And to tell your browser where your website is going to start and end, we use a tag called an HTML tag. So that is this thing right here, smaller than greater than sign, and then HTML. And I'm just going to go ahead and end that off right now. So /HTML. And that just means that our website is going to start here and end here, and anything in between here is going to be part of our website. So there we go. We actually have the beginning of our website. Now what we have to do is we actually have to split our website into two parts, because every single website that you have ever been to and every single website that has ever been made is actually made up of these two parts, and these two parts are actually called the head. So let me just go ahead and make my head tags. And then the second part is called the body. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make these tags, and I'll tell you what they do now. Inside our head, we'll put in all the technical information that our browser needs. It might not be any information that the user is going to see, but it's just the information that the browser needs for your website to work. You'll see when we start writing our web page, our head's actually going to be quite empty, but as we start making more advanced websites or better websites, you'll see we're actually going to start putting more and more stuff into our head. But for now, the only thing I'm going to put inside our head is called the title, but I'll come back to that now. And then in the body, that's basically where all of our information that we want the user to see goes. So if we have any paragraphs or images and headers and stuff that we want the user to be able to read, we'll put that here in the body. Okay, so let me just go ahead back to our head, and like I said, the one thing that we can put inside our head for now is the title. So let me just go ahead and put our title tags in here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and indent that a little bit. You guys can have it all scrunched up on the end like that if you want, but I'm indenting this a little bit so you guys can read it a little bit easier and follow along a little bit easier. And then the other thing is you guys can have tags on multiple lines if you want, or you can just have them on one line, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and make our title, and for the title of our web page I'm just going to write here, this is the title, exclamation mark, just so that you guys, this is the title. Anyways, and then in the body I'm just going to write some random text here, so just go some random, oh okay, I cannot spell, random text, and let's go ahead and save this. And now you can see if I minimize this and go back to our blank web page that we had saved before, and I click the refresh button, we now have some content in our website. So we've got some random text over here, and then at the top here we've got this thing that says this is the title, and that's the title of our website. So that's all I got for you guys in this lesson. If you come back in the next tutorial, we'll obviously go over making our body a little bit more cool, because right now it's quite empty, and we'll learn what the paragraph tags are, what the header tags are, etc. So that's what you guys have got to look forward to. But for now, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, or share my videos.